Guys, I've been walking for a while.
With a crude map in hand, Sean makes his way up an unfamiliar railroad bed. It is miles from civilization, and his mind wonders what untouched treasures he might find. The distance he has traveled doesn't creep into his thoughts as he steadily closes in on his destination.
Alright guys, so I'm actually on the cellar hole now. You can see the cut stone and the stone foundation here in front of me. Pretty sure I just heard a Bigfoot. I don't know if that's going to come across on the video or not, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So there's plenty of room to swing in here. This site was actually on the 1900s map, but it was also on the 1850s map. Might not be a super old site, but we're going to swing in here, see what we can find. There's got to be some good stuff. Alright, so this isn't exactly the best find in the whole world, but it's still something that's pretty cool that it dates back to probably the turn of the century. So what I got is a piece of lead. It's really easily bendable. Actually, believe it or not, now that I just unbent it, I think it's actually a spoon handle made out of lead. Can't imagine if that would be good putting in your mouth, but obviously back then they didn't know any better. So I thought it was just going to be a piece of lead that you melt down, but it is actually a spoon handle. Alright, so the tone I got here in this hole, it was ringing up 84, 85. Every way I turned around on the hole, it's giving me the same signal. So normally that means it's a pretty good target, and ringing up that high, it might be a coin. Not sure. We're gonna dig it up live together. I don't know what's in it yet. Let's do this and pray it's something good. Alright, so I don't think it wasn't very deep. Maybe it is. It sounds bigger though, and I don't like that. Alright, it's in the clump. What is that? No idea what that is. Sounded great. Sounded very great though. Thought it was gonna be a coin, but it's not. I'm gonna brush this down real quick, see what it is. I think there's a hole right there. Might be some sort of key. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm not sure what this is, but I mean this site, there's obviously people in here that have been hunting, because I found shotgun shells, bullet casing, stuff like that. So there's obviously people in here hunting. Could be super modern trash, who knows. Your guess is as good as mine. Don't have any idea. All right, we're gonna get the good find on the next one. So one thing we're gonna have to be super vigilant about is the fact that there's supposed to be thunderstorms and heavy rain coming in. I'm really hoping that I can get some good swinging in today before the downpours hit. We're gonna see what else we can find. Got something good in the hole. Wasn't expecting it. So whenever I was swinging over it, it was a 78, 79. Whenever I popped it out, it flew out with the dirt that was over here. But I did see a coin. I think it's a coin. Could be a button. But it's definitely in the shape of a coin. I don't know what would bring up that low. I mean, I guess it could be a zinkin. I think it's an Indian. I'm almost positive it's an Indian. That'll be the first one. First one with the DS2. I know I saw the wreath on the back of this thing. If you hit it the right way, you can see it right there. 1 cent. No way. Don't know if we're gonna get a date on it. You can kind of see, maybe see something on the bottom there. I'm gonna see if I can do a little bit more cleaning on it. Jerry's gonna be jealous. This is a good sign right here. Might be an early 1900s Indian head, but how cool is that? I'm gonna clean it up some. All right, guys. So I got it cleaned up enough where you can see the date. Can you make it out? Looks like the infamous 1900 Indian head scent. How awesome is that? When I was first cleaning it off, I thought I couldn't see the shield at the top, but which would have dated it way back. But there's one on there, and it's 1900, I believe. That is awesome. I think I got another coin. I'm almost positive it is, and it was around the same numbers as the other coin that I just found. It was ringing up 79 on the DS2. I don't know if you can hear in the background either. It's starting to rain right now. I'm hoping it doesn't start pouring. I haven't heard any thunder, so that's a good sign. Have another coin. We're gonna brush it off together. See if we can find out what it is. So I'm super stoked. If this is another Indian, I'm gonna go crazy. So like I said, it was ringing up the same numbers as the one that I just found up there. It's got to be another Indian. There it is. I think I see it. Two in a row, and I see the shield, so it's not going to be an old, like a flying eagle or a fatty. And another Indian. Wonder if this one's going to date back into the 1800s. I hope so. The wipe off of the coin reveals 1904. How cool is that? That whenever I rubbed it on my pants, the headdress and everything, the Indian's head came clear as day. That's pretty cool. I might just leave it just like that. But it is a 1904 Indian head scent. Alright guys, if you enjoy this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that little notification bell so you don't miss any more of our videos. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to do a live dig here amongst all these little saplings and everything. But it's given me 85, 86. It's not real deep. I guess it could be a weedy, or it might be garbage. Who knows? I think I missed it. It's up here. That surely ain't it. That can't be it. I'm gonna scan back over it, see if that's what it was or not. I have no clue what that is. Piece of iron, but I don't know what else it is. All right, guys. So what I have here is, I believe, an old lantern. I'm thinking that's what it is. It's obviously just a piece of metal, but I'm almost certain that's what that is. Would have been the inside of the lantern. The wick would have actually come up through that hole right there. So, I mean, it goes along with the site. Turn of the century site, they were still probably using lanterns. Electricity wasn't everywhere yet, so take this find. All right, guys, so we're gonna live dig this one together. It's ringing up a 79 on the DS2. I'm thinking it might be another Indian. It might not be. Obviously, you never know what you're gonna dig, but the last two Indians I dug were both 79s. We're gonna dig this one together. Not an Indian, but it's still a good find. It's actually, oops, I just broke it. But it's a harmonica reed, broken on the one side. So, hey, it was giving me 79 all day. I had to live dig it because all the other Indians were ringing up the same. So, piece of harmonica reed. Let's keep going. All right, so one cool thing about having the DS2, well, as a new machine to me, is I dig more than I normally dig. So, I have something in the hole here that I probably normally wouldn't dig with any other machines I had. I don't know if you can tell what that is. That is a gigantic axe head. I'm actually going to take this with me, so if we ever do electrolysis, this one would be a good one to clean up. Shovel handle in there, display it. That'd be pretty awesome. So, it's heavy. It's not going to go in the pouch, but I'm going to lean it up against the tree over there where my bag's at. Let's go. I don't even know how to explain this, but you know, whenever you're metal detecting and you get a target, you dig down, you pop out the plug, and what you're looking for flies out, and it like just reveals itself. That's what this did. A spoon, and I think it's gonna have some fancy on it. Gonna have to brush it. Oh, it's definitely gonna have fancy on it. It actually has fancy on it like that silver spoon I had found in the past, but this one obviously isn't gonna be silver, but it's got some fancy stuff on it. It's actually display worthy. I'm gonna brush it, see what I come up with. So this spoon with the fancy scroll work on it, probably a spoon that the lady of the house, probably whenever family came over, friends, neighbors, whatever, and we're having their dinners, this is probably what they broke out to eat with. Pretty cool. So it's an absolute disaster down in here. Obviously you can see how thick it is. Can barely find a spot to set the camera up. I think I have another coin. It's either going to be a coin or a button. I know we always say that, but it seems super thin. So with how thin it is, I'm almost thinking it's a button. You can see how thin it is. You gotta do a little brush on it, scrape the dirt off. What in the world is this? This give me a 78 on the DS2. I don't see anything on the one side, but I do think I see a shank. Yeah, I don't think I see anything on the face of it. But as you can see right there, you got the remnants of where the shank was at. That's an old find right there. That probably predates the Indian coins I found, so I'll take this for sure. So I just found that button right over here beside me. I'm sitting here looking at what I found, and I hear a bunch of crunching coming down through the woods. And then I heard a bunch of raindrops following it. I'm assuming it was a tree falling down, and that freaks me out. Because right over here to the right of me is a huge tree that fell down. So, I mean, that just creeps me out. I think this is a coin, almost positive. It looks so small though. Maybe that's a button. Maybe that's why it looks smaller. Pretty sure this is a button too. You can kind of see the shank right there on the back of it. Another flat button. These date way before the turn of the century. I mean, I guess they could still be wearing them on their clothes, but another cool find. Probably like 2 feet from where I found that last flat button. Pretty awesome. So we're still down here in the thick of the things. I know you can barely see my finger. Button 1, button 2, and I think I got button 3. This one actually has the shank sticking up. Back to back to back. Flat buttons. So this is a crazy find here. I'm kind of speechless actually, because this item that's just laying on the surface of the forest floor was used, you know, 170 years ago, and it's never sunk into the ground. It doesn't make any sense to me. It is literally laying right on the surface. Can you tell what it is? That is a piece of a curdle bell, and it was humongous. I mean, look at the size of that in my hand. That would have been a huge curdle bell. Pretty awesome find there. And I mean, it was laying on the surface. Doesn't make any sense. But hey, didn't even have to dig anything, so I'll take that. There's a dog leash hanging in the tree. And on the dog leash, I don't know if you can read it, it says best friend. Why that's hanging in the tree, I have no idea, but I'm hoping, you know, that a little girl or a little boy wasn't walking their dog and it got loose. And it's kind of a sad tale. I mean, obviously the dog's not attached to it anymore, so that's a good thing, but why there's a dog leash hanging in a tree, I have no idea. Alright guys, so the fawns have slowed down a little bit. I kind of branched off a little further away from the cellar hole, which is right now right to the right hand side of me. But I'm gonna work around in here a little bit slower because I think there's still stuff around here. I got a find here. It's a parasol slide. So this would have been an old umbrella that they would have used back in the day. So this would slide up the rod of the umbrella. So could have been the woman's. I know they used them back in the day for shade in the hot sun. But being as they're in the woods, was there any need to it? But maybe this wasn't woods back then, who knows. But pretty cool find there. So I'm like on the brink of the edge of the cellar hole here. I have a find here. It's really tough up here against the cellar holes. Tons of nails around. A whole bunch of ferrous stones. So it really gets in the way of all your non-ferrous stuff, but managed to get a key. If it's an actual house key, it's got to be one of the last keys that they used before the house was torn down. Your guess is as good as mine, but not a skeleton key, so it doesn't date back to the curdle bells and the Indians and all that other stuff. Alright, so I'm not real sure what it says. Say Cleveland, Ohio. Maybe Curtis Industries. I mean, I've heard of Curtis locks, so it makes sense. So it might not even been a door key, it might have been for a lock. There's also something written on this side. You might be able to see it on the video, what it actually says. It's so small I can't read it. So I'm down here, back into the thick of things down here. It is so thick, I'm almost crawling around on my hands and knees, metal detecting. In some cases I am. I got a pretty awesome find here. Might rival the Indian head sense earlier. It's not a coin, but it's still an amazing find. Check that out. So that is a toe tap. I think we're on a roll with these. You find them a good bit in the woods at the old home sites, but great find. I'm happy to add this to my collection for sure. And it actually, if you can see, there's still a nail sticking in there, so that's pretty cool. Alright guys, I'm moving out of the thick stuff here. Got another good find in the hole. Another spoon. Not going to be any fancy on it like the last one. This one's all bent up. Pretty bad. So I don't know if kids were out here playing with their spoons back in the day. Had to make do with what they had, I guess. Cool find. All right, so this is a find you almost always find at old home sites. But this is the first one I found today. Got a D-buckle, still has the leather in it, which is pretty cool. So like I said, normal find for an old site. First one for today. I'm getting pooped out, but so far I've dodged the rain, so I can't complain too much about that. So we're gonna keep swinging in here, see what else we can find. Guys, I've been walking for a while. I should be back to those railroad tracks by now, and I have no clue where they're at or which way I'm going. I'm gonna have to try to get my bearings here and try to figure out how to get back to those tracks. Tried to reverse the map around and go the opposite way, but that didn't work out too well. So a couple of things I'm gonna look at is I know the railroad tracks are gonna be north of where I was at. So if I look on the trees, you'll find moss growing on the north side of the tree, and then also the sun angle sets in the west, so the west would be back that way, north would be that way. And by the looks of the moss on the trees, I would say that's pretty accurate. If I don't run into them soon, I'm probably gonna lift my drone up in the air. I have it in my pack. I'm gonna lift it up in the air where I can find a spot in between the trees, see if I can get a better look that way. We're gonna keep on hiking. I'm gonna kind of go that way a little more.
Sean's nerves are at an all-time high as he realizes he is lost. He uses his knowledge he learned hunting as a kid to try and find the exit from the timber. He lifts his drone to the sky to find that he is only a short distance from the tracks that will lead him back to his truck. If you enjoyed this video, then click this video and watch the guys battle many obstacles to find amazing treasure. See everybody out there.